Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today, it has been 10 years since Namie Amuro's Best Fiction was released, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to review one of her most liked best-ofs. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is simply my opinion on this release, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. 10 years ago, Best Fiction came out and it became one of Namie Amuro's most beloved song compilation to this day. Not only did the best of sell amazingly well for about 1.5 million copies in its runtime, but it allowed many people to get into Namie's music. I remember back then so many people who discovered her in 2008 with this best of, and then became fans ever since, and maybe that is your case if you are watching this video. Personally, I discovered Namie Amuro in early 2006, so this best of was actually the first one that I experienced as a fan as well, and it really allowed me to get more into a part of Namie's discography that before I discovered her in 2006, I didn't pay much attention to. Now, you guys might know that I'm not a fan of Namie R&B hip-hop phase, but I do actually like the songs from that era that were released as singles, and that's why I really like Best Fiction in the way that it included all those songs that were released from 2002 to 2008 to give you a really nice overview of Namie's career at that point. As a best of, Best Fiction does a bit over the bare minimum, and it's definitely not our most interesting best of for the following reasons. First off, it doesn't include any rework, remaster, or new mix on any of the songs included. They basically took all the A-sides released, put them in order of release, and called it a day, which is a pretty common approach for best of, but Namie has got us used to so much more when it comes to best ofs that this one, compared to others, does fall a bit short. However, it does include a couple of new songs. Two were crafted especially for the best of, and these are Do Me More and Sexy Girl, which are two songs that I absolutely adore because they are both so different from one another and represent Namie's music so well. So it's no surprises that Do Me More opens the best of and Sexy Girl ends the best of, and it's a very clever move. So let's talk a bit more about these two songs. Do Me More is so peculiar in Namie's discography because melody-wise, it's really hard to forget. It has a bit of a circus kind of theme to it, and it really, for me, I always associate the best of with this song and Sexy Girl. And the lyrics are also a bit of a mix of a Alice in Wonderland world with a very underlying sexual theme added to it that really continues to show that Namie is becoming more bold in her music ever since the single Wommy Wommy was released. And Do Me More in its own way continues this new direction. Now, if Do Me More was more subtle, Sexy Girl, however, ends Best Fiction on a bold and honest note. You might think from the title that it is more on-the-nose sexual lyrics, but instead, this song ends up being a supportive anthem for women. It's pretty much all about supporting each other and moving on while being very confident. And I really love how Namie, throughout her career, always had this very supportive, confident image, especially for women and for teenagers like me. That was really something because my experience with Namie's music at that time made me feel empowered as a young girl, and it stays with me even now, and I owe her a lot because of creative choice like on this song that simply illustrate her as a really great role model. This best of also contains songs that were never released on original albums, such as Namie's first Christmas song, White Light, and the single that came out earlier in 2008, 60s, 70s, 80s. Now, this single was a huge hit in Japan. It almost sold 300,000 copies, and sales like that didn't happen for Namie since Never End came out in 2000. And this single, I believe, is also a fan favorite because it had a very clear concept, sampling a song from a different decade. So the 60s sampled Baby Love by the Supremes on the song New Look. The 70s inspired song Rocksteady samples Aretha Franklin's song of the same name. And finally, What a Feeling samples Flashdance, Irene Cara's song of the same name from the 80s. And this single on paper could have easily ended up being just cover of the songs, but instead, the neat production and ingenuity of the team that worked on those songs made it one of Namie's most fascinating singles of the last decade. Overall, Best Fiction, even 10 years later, stays as one of Namie Amuro's most memorable releases of the last decade because it features many hits from her discography, but also has a strong visual identity as a best-of that really compensated for the lack of diversity it offered when it comes to new songs or even reworks. It helped many people get into Namie's music and stays as a fan favorite, even if I'm not a huge fan of Best of myself. This one still stays as one that can really represent Namie's very diverse discography up to this point, and in the best way possible, and that is why I give this Best of 5 stars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell me what you think of Best Fiction, and why not tell me your favorite memory linked to this one in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.